Hello kittens! Silver here with Dove the Pomsky by Douglas Cuddle Toys, and today I'm going to share the aftermath of a bit of a spontaneous plush run that I went on a couple nights ago, maybe a week ago, with my mom. So we were both bored on a Friday night. We didn't really have any plans, and we had a little extra spending money, and that is obviously a very dangerous combination when you walk into a toy store, which is exactly where we were destined for. So I went to my local toy shop, mostly because I saw that there was one particular Douglas that they had in stock according to their online website. But as it turned out, they had a whole slew of the new Douglas plush from this year, which is 2024 at the time of this recording. So we went a little haywire. So I'm going to show you who we brought home that fateful night. So the main reason that I actually went was to find this guy, Milo the pug, because I had actually been talking about Milo with a friend just earlier that day, and she really was glowing about him and just saying how much she really connected with this dog. And as you can see, you can kind of tell why. He is absolutely precious. So he's about a 9-inch size, I believe. He's about the same size as Dove. Dove is maybe a hair taller than him, but basically the same size. He's got a nice level of flop to him. He's got kind of more of a robust, kind of sturdy body to him, which kind of makes sense as a pug. And he's got these really cute wrinkles along his body, and of course that classic curly pug tail. And I really love the fabric choice that they made for this guy. Usually they're just kind of sort of like a camel color. This guy has some kind of nuance going on with his fur. There's a little bit of a multicolor effect going on there. So you kind of get these creams and these sort of almost like a light coffee color. Super nice. It's a little lighter at the root, I think. But overall, it just creates a really beautiful effect. And then it's kind of offset by these contrasting dark chocolate marks on his muzzle and his ears. And he's got that nice faux leather nose and the lip flue detail that you can stick your finger under if you want to if you want to do that. And he's got these big soulful brown eyes. And just that classic pug look. He is so adorable. I think he's probably the cutest pug that Douglas has produced, quite possibly. And like Dove, he is in a sitting position, but he is soft and floppy enough that he can be put into a laying pose, like so. So let me show you his hang tag here as well. So we have Milo Pug. There he is. So he was the main reason for our adventure, but the night was not quite over yet. So let me just pause a second, show you who else we brought home that night. All right, next up we have Fu, the Siamese cat. This is actually a deluxe cat too, which I actually thought was maybe a misprint because I've never seen a deluxe plush made by Douglas in this size, but this is what they decided to do, and they did it so marvelously. I was kind of drawn to Fu just from seeing pictures that other collectors had shared on Instagram, and then when I saw her in person, it was game over. She is so precious. Typically, I don't really collect the current Douglas cats. I've gotten a few here and there over the years, but they're not something that I, collect religiously the way that I do with the vintage cats. But I have to say that Fu just is absolutely 100% worth it. She's maybe my favorite out of the current lineup of Douglas cats. Probably, maybe even in the last couple of years. I think she's just so perfect. Her face just has this beautiful innocence to it. I absolutely love the fabric choices again. I think actually the fabric on her legs is very similar to Milo the pug's here. A little bit different. You can kind of see a little bit more of like a grayish tinge where the seams are, where his are kind of a darker brown, but quite close in color for her feet. So it's just that really light brown color, has a lovely sort of pastel effect to it. And she's got a very soft light brown muzzle and a flocked velvet nose, also in a light brown, which complements her muzzle color very well. And she has these beautiful blue eyes, which have almost sort of a transparent quality to them. They're very reflective and shiny, almost like an opalescence, as you can kind of see when you kind of rotate her head around that way. Some really nice airbrushing around her eyes as well. And these cute little light brown ears with the felt on the inside, with a little bit of airbrushing outlining the inside of those ears, super cute. Normally I would maybe be a little bit nitpicky with the cats and say that, I would prefer the elliptical eyes, the way that, authentic real cats do, but I have absolutely no complaints about this one. I'm not even gonna, I shouldn't have even mentioned it. And she's got this cute little mouth as well, that's hand stitched in this light brown threading. And she's also in the same sort of position as Milo and Dove. So she's kind of sitting by default, but she is definitely floppy enough to lay like so. How adorable is she? I just cannot get enough of her face. And here's the little surprise, the dark chocolate tail here. It's got this little curl right at the end. It kind of curves upward. Super, super adorable. And as far as beans go, I forgot to mention beans with Milo, but he does have beans in his paws, and so does Foo. And I think she actually does, yes, she does have a little bit of beans in her backside, which is what helps her to sit in that upright position. And I'm guessing Milo probably has the same. Yep, I feel the beans. So let's take a look at her hang tag as well. So here we go. There is Foo, Siamese Cat Deluxe. And then we had one more new arrival that went home with us that night. And I would probably not have gotten this one if it hadn't been for my mom's insistence, but we ended up getting a second Dove because look at that face. How could I possibly leave this little dog behind? She was just too cute to pass up. Oh my gosh, even now she has almost this pleading look in her eyes, like just hold me, please. So let me put her together with my other Dove. So obviously they're very similar, but there are some subtle differences in their faces. For some reason, my original Dove, who I still need to rename actually, so now I have to come up with 2 new names, but she was an Easter gift who you guys might have seen if you watched my earlier unboxing video of her, but she almost has kind of like a fae quality to her. Like she almost looks like a little woodland sprite to me, whereas she just has like, I don't know, she has just this almost, it's hard to describe. It's like that pleading look that I mentioned. She just like has that puppy dog face. It's almost sad in a way, but also like really heart melting at the same time. She's also a little bit shorter, I'm noticing. And I think maybe her head is a little bit fuller than this one, or maybe it's the muzzle. Very slightly different shapes. These are obviously very, very subtle distinctions, but each plush does have its own sort of unique characteristics since they are handmade, or at least they have handmade elements to them. But just like my original Dove, she has that beautiful sort of caramel colored coat with that nice sort of cinnamony, light brown or medium brown root, and her little curled tail. So let's take a look at her hang tag as well. So there's Dove Pomsky. So actually it would be interesting to see if they have different production dates, but they're probably right around the same time since it's still pretty early on in the year. But these are all 2024 Douglas. Oops, sorry girl. As I'm just manhandling her and throwing her around. So let's see, she was in January of 2024. Let's see what the original Dove was. If we can get to the tags. So this one is also January of 2024. So they are twins in every sense. So let's get them all assembled if my camera wants to focus. So we have my 2 Doves, Milo and Foo. So that was who ended up coming home with me a week or so ago. And I think I'm going to be in trouble if I end up making a return visit, which I think is highly likely because there were definitely other plush there that caught my eye that I couldn't get at the time. But I'm sure it will only be a matter of time before we take another trip. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be back again soon with some more plush goodness for you. Bye, everybody.